Donald Trump is panicking after CNN just blew up one of his biggest lies about crime. In a brutal new segment, they proved that the highest crime rates aren't in big blue cities after all, they're in small towns across Trump's own red states. It's a reality check that completely shreds his so-called law and order agenda and exposes it for what it really is: fear, cruelty, and corruption. Stick around to see exactly how CNN tore Trump apart, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. So we all know that Donald Trump has declared war on America's cities and has even occupied Washington, D.C. In fact, I've been covering this illegal occupation since it first began, but despite this, Trump hasn't seemed to have had enough. Because just earlier today, Donald Trump claimed that he thinks Chicago will be the next city he invades. He says that he wants Governor J.B. Pritzker to beg him to occupy Chicago, but if he won't, then he might just send the troops in anyway.
And the governor of Illinois should be, Chicago's a disaster, and the governor of Illinois should say, President, would you do us the honor of cleaning up our city? We need help. They need help. They need help.
So
We may wait. We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do. The problem is, it's not nice when you go in and do it and somebody else is standing there saying, as we give great results, say, we don't want the military in.
The President of the United States is now joking about sending troops into an American city to bully the citizens who live there. This is not crime prevention, but potentially a crime in itself. And while Donald Trump talks about how he wants to make America safer, he's actively trying to make one man's life worse, simply to just get revenge. Because just this past week, Kamar Garcia, the man illegally sent to an El Salvadorian prison, was finally returned home. But instead of admitting defeat in his already rigged legal case, Donald Trump is having his administration arrest Garcia again, and this time they won't even say what they're charging him with. Here is his lawyer explaining these new developments today.
We asked the ICE officer what the reason for his detention was. The ICE officer didn't answer. The ICE officer stated that he'll be taken to a detention center. We asked the ICE officer which detention center. The ICE officer said that they weren't able to say. We asked the ICE officer for a copy of any paperwork that's being served on him today. The ICE officer wouldn't commit to even giving us that paperwork. In the last 5 minutes, Mr. Garcia has filed a new lawsuit in the Federal District Court for the District of Maryland, challenging his current confinement and challenging deportation to Uganda or to any other country unless and until he's had a fair trial as in an immigration court, as well as his full appeal rights. In 2019, Mr. Garcia had a full trial. It lasted over 2 days in this building behind me. And the result of that trial was that the judge entered an order that he could not be deported to El Salvador. That order was not even appealed by the government. If they want to deport him to any other country, they need to go through that exact same process.
Free Kamar!
Unless and until they have gone through that process, they do not have the right to put him on an airplane. And that's what we're going to be asking the district court to ensure, that he is not put on any flight to any country whatsoever, whether it's Uganda, South Sudan, what have you, unless and until he has had a full and fair trial in an immigration court, as well as his full appeal rights.
This is an absolutely crazy development for the Trump administration. I don't know if you noticed, but Garcia's lawyer briefly mentioned that Trump is threatening to deport him to Uganda in Central Africa. Trump is threatening to send this man halfway around the world to a country he isn't even from, just to make a point on immigration. Donald Trump isn't trying to enforce laws or stop criminals, he's trying to toy with immigrants like political threats to everyone else. And if he can kick one person out of the country to any place on earth he wants, then he can do it to you as well. And despite not committing any crimes, the Trump administration is dead set on punishing Garcia. Tom Homan, the head of immigration, even went on Fox News today just to make fun of him and talk about how he will stop at nothing to make sure that he's deported again, either to Uganda or wherever else.
What's your response to accusations that you're weaponizing the immigration system and will, in fact, Abrego Garcia soon be heading to Uganda?
He is absolutely going to be deported from this country. He's not going to walk the streets of this nation, so he can enjoy the little time he has with his family. And for the person who says we're not going to separate family, well, his family can go with him because he's leaving. he's going to be deported.
So I think it's clear that Trump doesn't actually care about crime, he just wants to control people that he disagrees with. He began things with immigrants, and now he's even planning on taking over entire cities. And with all the propaganda coming out of the Trump administration about these events, it's important to remind people of the facts, and that is exactly what CNN just did today. In this new incredible clip, CNN pulls up a graph showing the cities with the highest crime rates in America, and none of them are the cities that Trump is threatening to occupy with the military. In fact, CNN's hosts also point out that some Republican governors are actually sending National Guard troops willingly to help Trump take over DC, but they won't use them to try to stop crime in their own states. CNN was literally pointing out how extreme Republican hypocrisy has gotten today. Just take a look at this.
I think one of the most interesting things about the graphic you just showed is the highlighted yellow of those states sending their National Guard to DC, right? I think we've seen this playbook before from the president, and it won't be the last time where he is using this issue as a political one, right? He is trying to make the case that he needs to intervene because Democratic-run cities are out of control in his parlance. And that's clearly not the case, backed up by data. There are a whole host of other cities, primarily in Republican-led states, that have higher crime rates, but that's not the focus for this president. We've seen him go after Chicago, LA. This weekend he was tangling with Governor Westmore of Maryland and talking about Baltimore. There is a playbook here that the president is using, and it's mostly driven by his politics. And one of the things just to note about Chicago, Chicago's crime rate has actually been decreasing and at times has been at pre-pandemic levels. And so this focus on this out of control crime is misplaced based on where the data is. Not to say that there's no crime, but if you really look at the numbers, it is not the sort of picture the president is painting.
And that's how you break through the propaganda of a dictator. Cold, hard facts. Donald Trump is lying about the needs to send troops to American cities, just like he's lying about the dangers of immigrants in this country. Whether it's one man or an entire city, Donald Trump wants one thing: control. And if we can keep helping the truth get out, then he will never get that control. If you want to help hold the Trump administration accountable as well, be sure to share this video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more.